Do come again. Well met, sir. How fancy a look at my wares. Do come again.
This is for you, Master. I thought it might come in useful.
Ah, now here's a surprise.
The thrill of discovery never gets old.
Interesting. I shall have to inform my own master of this. A solitary shard is good for little. We need to seek out more of these if 'tis to be of use.
We ought to keep it with care, lest we lose it.
Ingredients are plentiful hereabouts.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here?
Mayhaps it's time I went looking for them. That place puts my hairs on end. Yet if aught were to befall him, I couldn't live with myself. My bed What am I to do? He really...
Must you run so fast? I can hardly keep you in my sights, Arisen.
Let us endeavor to keep up, though we are less fleet of foot.
Master, my heart knows no greater peace than when I'm by your side.
I'll feel a sight better once I've had my dinner. I must be vigilant. The town will be Anyone gives me a taste of steel.
This seems a decent spot for a campsite.
Better to rest while we're here than lament our weariness later.
You're like to grow overburdened if you keep picking up every little trinket you find.
I'll wager I could make that shot.
Go right ahead.
Now, what might that be?
Let us ponder how best to proceed.
I see a ladder yonder, but we can't reach it from here. We'll have to get up there and drop it down.
I've a pressing duty to it.
I'll turn you into a pincushion!
What is it? Changed your mind? Very well. Board the ox cart and...
Goblins! What rotten luck! We've need of your aid again, sir.
Strike! Now!
Nicely done.
Seems we drove them off. You've my thanks for aiding us. Vernworth isn't far from here. Will you join us the rest of the way? All right. Into the ox cart, then.
I was informed of your coming, would be Arisen.
Captain Brandt, this individual summoned a pawn through a rift stone. Several witnesses can attest to it. Though I admit I had my doubts at first. 'Twould seem this is no mere deceiver.
This one's not a bad sort. Saved our hides on the way here.
As decreed by the great will of our world, there can only be one Arisen. That Arisen now resides within the palace. Indeed, he is our sovereign and the rightful ruler of Vermont. It follows, therefore, that this ruffian before us is naught but a pretender. You must submit to questioning. If you value your life, you will not attempt to flee. I shall conduct the interrogation myself. Stand watch outside. I beg your forgiveness for my insolence, Your Majesty. If the Queen Regent had learned of your existence, I fear your life would have been in peril. I had no choice but to treat you as a pretender, lest my actions draw suspicion from watchful eyes. Then you have truly lost your memory? In that case, mayhap I ought to explain the situation before we proceed. You, and no other, are the Sovereign, the only legitimate ruler of this kingdom. Some days past, you confronted the dragon in the village of Melv, whereupon you became Arisen. The people rejoiced, for our true liege had finally appeared, ending Vermund's long years of council rule. Yet, not all celebrated your coming. Your arrival would have robbed the Queen Regent Disa of everything. During the time of the previous consul, she acted as a queen in her own right, ruling the palace as she saw fit. And just after the consul's passing, when 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place, word reached the castle that the Arisen had been found. To Disa, Your Majesty's very existence is naught but an obstacle to her own family's continued prosperity. The assassination of the Arisen is an impossible feat for mortal hands. Thus, Disa chose to abduct Your Majesty while you recovered from your wounds, in order to rob you of your memory with a fell curse and sell you to Batal as a slave. Following that, she prepared a replacement to serve as the Sovereign in your stead, a mere puppet. However, with Your Majesty returned, I have no intention of twiddling my thumbs as Disa plays her games. I shall devise some plans to further our cause. Pray, visit me a night in the tavern that we might discuss them. This one's cleared of all suspicion and has my permission to remain in the capital. You are to trouble the good sir no further. Are we clear?
Bested by the likes of you.
Pray forgive me, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Consign it! Get back here! You there! Did you see an urchin in a cap run past just now? Can you tell me which way he went? Many thanks. I'll catch that wretch yet.
You're a kind one, aren't you? 'Twould seem I am in your debt. In fact, there's aught I would ask of you if you've the time to spare.
Aha! There you are!
Oh, apologies, but our chat will have to wait. Till next we meet. Farewell.
If our destination is a distant one, travel by ox cart might be worth considering.
Walking everywhere is certainly tiring.
I've all manner of arms for sale. Come, have yourself a look.
That looks promising. Any ideas as to how we might reach it?
Welcome to the Star Drop Inn. We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I pour you a cup to start you off? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the finest brews in all of Vernworth. Always a pleasure.
I am attentive and loyal, and prefer to remain by your side. In battle, I shall follow your lead and prioritize support. Where ought we to go now?
I've heard some interesting tidings about town.
Regarding the Vermundian military, yes?
Would seem the Queen Regent has made significant alterations to the chain of command.
Go on, have a look. Go on, have a look. Business hasn't been the best for some time now. Pleasure doing business with you.
It takes two to make us... sale, and this seller had nothing to tempt us with. Our funds are better spent elsewhere.
The Arisen is ever prudent in the application of coin.
Your Majesty, your timing is impeccable. I just thought to call for you. 'Tis not a matter for prying ears. Pray, let us speak out here. As I informed you when last we spoke, the palace is filled with the Queen Regent's sycophants. Should Disa denounce your Majesty as a false Arisen, few would elect to doubt her. Yet if we are to prove your identity, I believe there is no occasion more suitable than the coronation. It was delayed so that the sovereign, that is, the false Arisen, could convalesce in the palace, but the date has now been set. The central players in the court ought all be in attendance. 'Twould be a fine opportunity to display your Majesty's power. None would be able to deny that you are the true Arisen then. There is a problem, however. Entry to such an event is limited to the chosen few. Only select members of the nobility and citizens who have contributed greatly to Vermont's continued prosperity will be granted entry. If your majesty is to be counted among them, you will need to attend to a number of tasks. Pray, allow me to summarize them for you. The citizenry have called upon my soldiers to cull monsters that plague the land. I dare say, 'twould be a fine contribution were you to accomplish these tasks unaided. What say you? Might I ask for your cooperation in this matter? I thank you, Your Majesty. There are 3 locales that have seen significant trouble of late. The first is Trevo Mine, to the northwest. We've had reports of goblins swarming in great numbers. Next is Half Village, west of Vernworth. I believe soldiers have already been dispatched to cull an infestation of saurians there. Finally, there is a call for someone to locate a group of soldiers tasked with delivering freight. They were last seen crossing the second bridge on the eastern edge of Vermont.
We have been charged with the felling of monsters. By combining our strengths, we shall overcome this trial as all others. There's a ladder here.
After you, Arisen.
Well met, sir.
Living hard, but room to breathe, I say.
Good evening, sir. I trust you fared all right on the roads, despite the hour?
A good sleep will ensure we are prepared for the morrow.
Our adventure continues.
Come, we've much to be getting on with.
Feeling rested, I trust.
Greetings. You seek guidance, do you not? You have lost sight of your path. You need only make a worthy offering in exchange. 'Tis lovely to see you.
Mayhap I'll seek out a town I've yet to visit.
If I sleep on my woes.
Words fail to capture the awe I feel standing atop this bridge.
It must be very old. I wonder when it was built.
Tis a glad thing we rested when we did.
Try not to get hit, lest all that vim go to waste.
You're soaked. Do try not to catch cold. Arisen! Are you alright? I'll keep them pinned down.
Not a bad idea.
That battle took more out of me than I would have liked.
Let us pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and try not to slip up again.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
No harm in picking a few.
The creature's corpse will serve us well.
You cut quite the hunter's figure. We have found a material.
Different combinations of materials result in different creations.
Will take every ounce of our strength, but we can prevail. This brute has quite the temper.
Might we not use their rage to our advantage?
Fear not, 'tis well in hand.
Arisen, are you all right? It shall be done. I am here to aid you, Arisen. It's the simplest strategy that our foe most abhors. Knock it. Its feet out from under it and strike ere it recovers.
This battle will demand all our strength. We must stand together if we are to seize victory.
My thanks. Where would I be without you, Arisen?
Our foe appears to have grown just as weary as we.
We must make the most of this opportunity.
I shall lead the charge!
When enraged, this creature is capable of calamitous strength. We ought not to provoke it.
How are we meant to attack it without angering it?
Was most effective. At last, the moment I've been waiting for. Allow me to gather these up.
I'd wager there's aught to be found here.
We ought to take a closer look. We are none of us alike in vocation.
That is most fortuitous.
I see it as a glad thing. We are well poised to supplement each other's strengths.
Save it, cuz. They're enough.
One never can have too many of these.
Let us take care when and how we put them to use. The Arisen has been put to sleep! Focus your strength, Arisen! Whatever 'tis you need, I shall gladly oblige.
Watch your footing, Master. Losing your balance on an incline this sharp could be perilous.
Let them come! I'll continue to fight on and on!
The tide of battle can turn in an instant. Let us end this quickly.